You got the same
Exactly.
thing. So games, Wii has its own kind of genre of games that you cannot remake for the others, and that's a big difference there. Price. Here's a good one. Wii is $250. It's still $250. Amazingly, hasn't dropped because they don't need to, because they're still selling like hotcakes.
I knew you were. Knew you were just waiting for the price point, because the price point is the clear advantage for the
Yes,
Wii.
Wii is cheap, relatively. PlayStation 3 is definitely hindered by its high price point.
Oh God, don't even get me started.
The Xbox 360, at least for the first year or two, was probably at least slightly hindered by its relatively high price point. I mean, it was launch price. Geez, I'm looking at all the SKUs right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of SKUs.
$300 to $400, basically.
Right.
For an Xbox 360. Not a ridiculously high amount, but not as accessible as the Wii. I mean, $250, that's almost an impulse buy.
Yeah, I think there's, if you're going to buy a game system at that point, it's just a logical choice.
Right.
Oh, look, I can play this.
And especially when you say, hey, I can get a Wii and an Xbox 360 for, just a little bit over what I can get a PlayStation 3 for. I don't think the price really hurt nor hindered the 360. Slightly helped the Wii, greatly hurt the PS3.
And I know a lot of you kids out there made the argument to your parents the way that we used to make the argument to our parents. Oh, look, we can get this PC because it's educational, or, we can get this, this PlayStation because it plays audio CDs. Well, I know you made that argument to your parents, you crafty little bastards, that I can get a Wii because, look, it doesn't keep me sitting on my couch. I can get up and waggle, and we can all play bowling together as a family.
It works.
And you know what? It did. Mm-hmm. It does. And I mean,
got my wife to play a video game. Holy crap.
I mean, but not just that, I remember the whole family getting together the first Thanksgiving after we had a Wii, mm-hmm. and we were playing, and it was like, wow, everybody's here and they're all playing the same game. We're having a blast. It wasn't because we were having an amazing amount of competition. It wasn't because we had the most graphically powerful game in the universe.
You don't pull out the Halo 3 and start blowing off Grandma's face.
That's not going to happen.
But
Wii Bowling is a hit. Wii Bowling is a hit whenever you get out there. Yeah, absolutely.
So one more thing on the innovation front. Some people might be screaming out, oh man, PS3, Blu-ray. We've already gone over Blu-ray.
Ooh.
But Blu-ray, hey, that's an innovation. Okay, yeah, it's an innovation in the same way that a modem on the Dreamcast was an innovation.
Absolutely.
Pushed out the door, forced on people that don't really want it necessarily yet.
Same argument that I made for the last generation with DVD. I'll make the counter argument for the PlayStation 3. So, I told you I was going to go here. Basically, you have DVD was out for a full 4 years before these consoles launched that successfully harnessed DVD technology in games and for movies. Okay, most people, I'm saying this with absolutely zero credentials whatsoever. I'm just going to horribly generalize, but I think it's true, okay? It's a widely believed fact.
You know what they say about stereotypes?
What?
They're generally true.
That's right. What I want to say here is this. Most people that got a Blu-ray player, in terms of their first Blu-ray player, was a PS3.
Yeah.
Okay, because there were Blu-ray players around. They were over $1,000.
A PS3 certainly, I don't know about right now, but the PS3 when it came out was certainly the cheapest Blu-ray player.
I mean, now it's not true. Now you can get Blu-ray players. Maybe you can get cheap ones for even $100-$150 now. It's ridiculous. But I would say most people that had a Blu-ray player early on, early adopters, were PlayStation 3 buyers, and that was their big argument. That was their argument for buying the system. Mm-hmm. But how long had Blu-ray been out by the time the PlayStation 3 becomes a Blu-ray player? Not long at all. Not even a year, I don't think. I might be missing the mark there. But let's put it this way. It wasn't a long time. Certainly wasn't 4 years. People realized very quickly Okay, it didn't take DVD long to catch on. It took it long to become the medium, but it didn't take it long to catch on. Blu-ray is very slow to catch on, and one of the reasons why I think is not only because of the success of DVD and the ubiquity of DVD, but because it was halfway forced down our throats by Sony.
And I would argue that a lot of people that bought the PlayStation 3 as a Blu-ray player, not so much buying it for the games, that hurts Sony a lot because they're losing money on every PS3, and that's more games that they are not making money off of the licensing.
And more importantly, they're losing more money per PS3 than Microsoft is losing money per Xbox 360.
I think Microsoft might be making money now.
If they're in the place where they're making money in this console, and that is a huge threshold, folks. Right. You're not only counting on your software anymore to make you money. Halo 3, I think, was the largest single day release of any video game in history.
I think so.
In terms of its release day.
At least a console, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if you don't have to rely on Halo 3 selling more copies than you can possibly imagine, and you can make money on a console, and you still have premium pricing, which the 360 is still premium pricing, you are all the way in the green.
So here's a note for you. Best-selling games for these three systems. Mm-hmm. Halo 3, as of mid-2008, for the Xbox, over 10 million. Wii Sports, for the Wii, as of March 2009, over 45 million. Metal Gear Solid 4 is the best-selling game for PlayStation 3, and as of December 31st, 2008, it sold only 4.5 million. I say only. That means
still
something.
Less than half.
Still.
And Metal Gear Solid is huge in Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
Halo 3 is non-existent in Japan.
That does not bode well for the attach rate for a PS3.
Oh no, the attach rates are, look, the raw sales numbers we gave you worldwide are a bit misleading because there are a lot of PlayStation 3s that have been sold worldwide. But when you look at the markets, mm-hmm. the only market where the PlayStation 3 is outselling the Xbox 360 is in Japan, and it's by such a considerable margin that it makes up for that small difference in worldwide numbers.
So between that and people just buying it perhaps as a Blu-ray player, Sony's not in a good position right now.
You cut Japan out of that equation, and Xbox is just putting the screws to Sony right now, and that's exactly where they want to be. And that's before we get into the arguments of the Natal and the PS3 motion controller and all that other stuff that's coming down the pike. And it's to be determined. We can't even really, I guess, conjecture about it.
I do like what I think I like the motion controller that PS3 is coming out with in the near mm-hmm. future. I think some good stuff can be done with that.
No question about it. Yeah. And now that we've had a generation of motion controlling, maybe we can figure out some great ways to do it. Because I think the Wii was really lacking, hence Wii Motion Plus. Yeah. And I don't know how much better that's going to make it, but we've had a generation to fool around. I think it's time to get serious, quote unquote, serious about motion control in games, because I think there are a lot of great possibilities, and we will definitely have a podcast that talks about that in the near future. Mm-hmm. All right, I think we've done some. I hope you've all enjoyed our little soiree through the history of the last 25, 30 years of video gaming.
Yeah, about.
We've tried to hit the big moments. We've clearly missed some stuff. We clearly haven't talked at all about PC, which is a very significant piece of this puzzle, folks, especially in the early 90s. That was when both of us became big PC gamers. I don't PC game a lot now, but I certainly have throughout the course of my career as a gamer. So there are a lot of pieces in here that we've glossed over. But that's kind of the point. We're trying to bring out the big moments, the big heavy hitters, the big winners of these consoles,
and why,
and why we remember them, and why they're kind of a lasting vision. Because at the end of the day, these are the consoles that we're going to remember. Mm-hmm. I don't know that we'll be telling, our kids about the Sega Master System, because I think the NES will do the trick.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason these consoles sold as well as they did and won their respective generations.
Right. And I don't even know if our theory is quite right, but I think that the theory holds out pretty well.
It's right.
I think it holds out pretty well. I mean, we've clearly got some great examples where our three-prong theory system has really, shown some legitimacy. shockingly enough, shown some legitimacy. And I think that will more than likely continue along very similar lines in the future. Even though the battles change through the console generations, as we've seen, the technology changes, the way that these companies fight each other, the market share is very different. We're still really talking about these same three questions, right? Mm-hmm. So the battles change, but, as somebody very famous once said, and I don't know who this person might be, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. Who said that? Do you know who said that?
That was Data from Star Trek.
I think it was Data from Star Trek. So he actually hasn't said it yet then, has he? Says
he
that
will.
A long time in the future.
Unless he said it, when he was back in San Francisco and turning, 19th century with Mark
No,
Twain.
I'm going to go cross-eyed. Okay,
Time
great.
Zero Part 2.
That's right. Thanks for quoting the exact episode for me.
Oh, yes.
I'll have to go index that one. Okay, folks.
I got the DVDs over here if you want to look.
No, that's fine. I'll live without looking at all the DVDs.
Okay.
Great. Well, thanks for coming with us along our journey through the history of video games and the big winners of these consoles and what we've been taking away from them. We know that there's a lot more to come in the consoles. The consoles are not dead. In fact, I would argue they're just getting started. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of battles to come in the future, and we can't wait to talk to you about those as well. So stay tuned to the Echo Screen and the Clan of the Grey Wolf. We're going to be talking about a lot more video game-esque things, hopefully coming up. And I don't want you guys freaking out because we're going to talk about a lot of other things, but we're also going to talk about video games because we got to give it its fair shake. And I think we've done a great job of starting that here. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that's it for Rue and the Commodore. We're going to send this one off. Thanks so much for listening. You can check us out at clanofthegraywolf.com. Come and post on the forums. Post comments on the blogs. All of us have blogs up. Check out the videos. Leave some comments for us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We'll talk right back. Don't worry.
We'll talk right back. Send us an email. We're all over there. So come and visit us out there at clanofthegraywolf.com. And thanks again for listening to our two-part podcast series on the winners of the console generations. Again, this is the Echo Screen, the official podcast of the Clan of the Grey Wolf, and there is no reset button. We've left the two-dimensional games behind. We're ready to start moving into the realm of 3D. Let's see what happens.
Shitfire!